You may think that the apostles were supermen. They were not. In fact, I can take you to scripture and show you many times Jesus Christ took them to pray. While he was burdened, he can advance with them upon the mountain to pray, and they cannot pray. And he even took the best of them. In fact, Peter, James, and John were there, and none of them could pray. He will come back and wake them and say, wake up and pray. They will not. Wake up and pray. They will not. He now say, can't you wait with me for at least even 1 hour? How comes their father and the Lord was praying for 7 hours, 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours, and yet again they could not even do 1 hour? I thought their proximity with him should guarantee the transfer of strength. And I realize that there is a school in the spirit that it doesn't matter who is the teacher. If you don't follow the same protocol model, you'll be deprived of the reality. You will have only a parable, and the reality will never be part of you. There were many sons of the prophet. How comes Elisha was different? Then if you think it was all about proximity, how comes Gehazi was different? It was because part of this schooling is that there is another factor that they were not told, another lecturer they are not aware of. His name is Ebenezer. Because in the days when God began to help people, those that refuse to accept his help are cast away. A prophet like unto me with the most I raise, and in the days of that prophet, whosoever refused to believe in him is cast away. Right now, Jesus may not be walking upon the face of the earth like this, but he walks as a spirit that enables men. Romans chapter 8, I told you, we don't even know how we should do this spiritual escapade, but there is an enablement that helps us. So it's possible for you not to be coming to church for the next 2 years, and your pastor will say you backslide, but only you knew the cave you are in, and you are with Ebenezer. And after 5 years, when you come out, your pastor will say, who are you? And there are those that are consistent with every activity in church, and every day they are deprived of the reality. When we come for night vigil, they sleep the most. And so we must be able to understand, as we mentor and guide and school people, there are things we cannot do. The best of a man is still a man, but the best of God is God. Do you know God, or do you know man? Because there are days when men fail. In the days when men fail, you beckon upon Ebenezer. But woe unto you in the day you need the strength of God, you don't know him. So the Bible says, if you fail in the days of battle, it's not because the battle is fierce, it's because your strength is small. It then means that it's possible for men's strength to be small, and the challenge is that can happen in the days of battle. When you read that expression in that moment while Jesus took them to pray, he was preparing them for the days that are referred to as evil days. When he was burdened, he picked the signals in the spirit, because he will definitely pick the signal. There is no time that God does anything without communicating it to his servant. In fact, sometimes even if you are backslided, God will still cast some burdens upon you, peradventure for the sake of what is going on. And as you begin to journey with that burden, you don't know that you're actually unlocking yourself the more. He was burdened. And by the time they refused to pray, a time came. He told them, well, don't pray again. Just sleep. For the hour has come. And even when he told them sleep, for the hour has come, he went back to pray. And they were foolish enough. When your father and the Lord say you sleep, let me pray, and you agree, you should be praying when he's sleeping. Don't be sleeping. If he is eating food, he tell you eat food, don't try it. Today Bishop David Oyedepo can tell you it's not by prayer, but let's ask ourselves the sincere truth. I study when I follow fathers, I check, their messages now will make sense. I go back to when he started. And I realized those times that they were part of the prayer team of Archbishop Benson Idahosa, he was the one that troubled them in prayer the most. Them Duncan Williams and the rest of them, he doesn't allow them to rest. Archbishop can tell them, let these people pray and stop, because they fasted and they pray. So before they finish fasting has not ended until there is prayer. So they pray in the evening. So when Bishop said they should stop, by 4, Bishop Oedebo says a lie. Say the body has not ended. They stop when the body has ended. So he will advance them to whether sometimes 6, sometimes 9, sometimes 10. If you're angry with you, angry with him. I can show you pictures of them sweating. He sweat, everything is sweating. But now it's AC and it's. When you follow this one, you will realize that you are following, but your life is a parable and it's working the reality. And Jesus said, I spoke in parable so that they will not know. But he is not given to you to only survive by parable. It's given to you to partake of reality. Some months ago, the Lord appeared to me and said, Philip Cephas, may your life never remain a parable forever. I said, but there are so many parables in scripture. He says it's not meant for you. Seek the reality. Because anytime God speaks in parable, it's so that others in hearing they will not hear, in seeing they will not see. Because if they understand the parable, they walk in the reality. The apostles knew the prayer has a parable. But what about the reality? They could not. He beckoned upon them, they slept them all. He beckoned, they slept them all. He looked upon Peter. Can't you wait with me for just an hour? For the devil desire to sweep you like a reed. But I've prayed for you, that your faith will fail not. And so that when you are strong, you should strengthen your brethren. But you see, you are actually the one that was supposed to be praying, because your brethren faith even lies upon you. But you are not even serious now. You now see why all of them backslided, why Jesus Christ was arrested. It was traceable to their deficiency of not praying that day. So immediately when Jesus was captured, even Peter that said, we will follow you to the end. If it means to die, we will die. He didn't know that utterances can only be survived upon the cruise of that prayer that was supposed to be prayed that day. And because he failed to receive help that day, in the days of evil days, nothing to stand upon. And so when they look upon you, are you part of them? He say, no, how can I be part of them? Say, but you talk like them. He say, no, never. I've never seen this man. Because there's no foundation to hold on to. No Ebenezer. And he was supposed to get that from that day that there was burdened to pray. And he was sleeping together with the rest. Because he was the first that they are going to beckon upon and say, you are part of them. After him, they will now go and beckon upon the rest. They are also part of them. But all the rest ran away. Their faith failed from the very beginning. He at least advanced more. And lastly, the cock now crowed. Then prophecy was fulfilled. See, no prophecy was designed to be fulfilled. Every prophecy was not just supposed to be fulfilled like that. Don't sit down and say they say you will die tomorrow and you are waiting for it to happen. What do you mean? Who you see that speak a thing and is established when the Lord has not commanded it? God did not give birth to you to kill you. If not, he won't give birth to you. You see a prophecy of my life, I will die. Did I say I want to live before? Did I decide to live? I'm living and surviving by another economy. You can't kill a spiritual man. Only God can kill him. But there are things to do to live. And until you do them, you will die. Every day we are pressed beyond measure to die. But we just refuse to die. And so immediately when their faith began to fail them, they now realized that they needed help. But like I told you, the prayer they refused to pray that day was what was supposed to save them from that evil day. And mind you, Jesus Christ yet again, of course, he knew that he's supposed to die and rise again, but he keeps speaking it, keep praying, keep speaking, keep praying. And let me tell you, if he refuses to follow in obedience, he might go down and not come up again. It looks as though it will not happen. On the third day, when everybody has lost hope, his spirit came and raised him. He said something. He said, you cannot rise yourself, right? You have to raise him. Because even Jesus Christ himself, he remained there like that until something, that same spirit that raised him from the dead had to come. And that has the ability to quicken you and me. He said, Ebenezer, because he came to a point where another spirit have to come and help bring him again. All of us will die. When we die, something will bring us back again. But do you know the spirit that will bring you back? Jesus was the one that said that there are some of you here that may never die. And if you choose to believe it, will happen. He said, I am the resurrection, I am the life. He that believe in me, although his death, he will live. But he that live and believe in me will never die. Many heard it as a parable. John took it as a reality. And when he advanced with it, there was nothing they did not do to kill him. He refused to die. When the persecution was cast upon, they did this, they did that, they did this, yet again he keeps surviving. Everything they exposed him to was a military punishment required to kill you by default. Tie a milestone, put him inside water for days. Jews appear. He breathed like a fish and survived beyond even their expectation. To let you know that they knew that he's not going to die, they came and bring him up again. If you throw somebody inside ocean, will you have to check again? You are checking because even you know that he's not supposed to die. Daniel, did your God deliver you? Of course, you know he will come. Ebenezer. So they know they have put snare to destroy you, but they knew God will come. They put him inside oil and fry him like a karankose, and yet again he refused to die. He tumbled, he came up again. Ebenezer, a shield of defense, a clothing in a fortress. And they say this one is not one of them, because the other one they cut their neck, it went out. This one, Then I say, okay, they carry him, tie his hands, and tie him to an animal, and drag him to the wilderness to go and die of no food, no water. And as they were dragging him around, nobody, no part of him pieces. Oh, you felt they carry him on a chariot and took him to the wilderness to the island of Patmos. Somebody they are trying to kill, they tie him and they drag him. He was rolling like a stone until he reached the wilderness. And when they left him there, just when he was about to die, see, I was in the spirit on the Lord's day. So he began to live at the point of death. And that was when what Jesus said began to find expression. This guy survived by Ebenezer because he could not help himself at that point. A time is going to come when it will refer to as the evil day. In that day, my brother, everything you know as a defense will just fail. You are moving suddenly, brake fail, and you're on high speed, or you are flying on the air and suddenly they say the plane engine just stopped. What do you think you need that day? Mama or Baba? You need Ebenezer. You need another kind of help, because you are going to be face to face with the gate of hell. At that point, God will have to give strength. And all of them backslided after Jesus left. And by the time they backslide, he has to appear to them again. And when he appeared to them, he said, go and tarry. Go and tarry until you've been endued with power from on high. Will you again restore the kingdom back to Israel? It's not of you to know this thing. Forget about that restoration now. It's an escape that when you try, you may die. Because power sit upon those gates to ensure that the kingdom does not return back. But wait, you shall receive power after the Holy Ghost come. And when it comes, you don't need to ask. By default, the kingdom will return back to Israel. I don't have to ask whether is the kingdom in your family return back to you now. The scepter of the wheel of authority in your family is back to your apostle. By default, if they have contended with your father, they kill your mother, they kill this one. Now when they came to you, the scepter is returned. If you ask that time, what kill your father, it may kill you. What kill your mother, it may kill you. But now, you don't even need to ask, because while they tarry, it returned. Oh God, my family, this is happening. Don't worry. Tarry in Jerusalem until you be endued with power. Because when it comes, by default, the people shall be willing in the days of thy power, and through the greatness of thy power will the enemy submit themselves. As I'm talking to you right now, there are many witches and wizards in your family that are submitting to you. You don't know. They have fought you, oh, tired. They have bring your name. Anytime they carry your picture, they call you in the mirror, you appear, the mirror break, they buy another one. As they call you, appear, the mirror break. They gave you poison. The more you eat, the more you are fat. Anytime they are trying to fly, as they fly, they come towards your house. Something just hold them like this. After they have tried and they are tired, they now decide, this one is our God. They now submit themselves through the greatness of thy power. Will the enemy submit themselves? The submission of the enemy is compelled. So there is nothing they can do. You think the enemy like the way you are advancing? For mango? Hiya. You think that's because the last person that tried to host there wake up at night, he saw like a dagger, they cut his head. So when he was walking physically, he had an accident and his head went out. The other person that wanted to hold, as he was rising suddenly, they look upon him and they cast spell upon him and they diagnose him incurable sickness, and before you know it, he died. Another person rose up, commanding influence, and suddenly they send another kind of weapon. Because they form weapons strategically designed to snare. But those that understand Ebenezer, that know that they are coming from the system of the help of God, they knew how to stand. Remember the Lord thy God in the days of thy youth, because an evil day come. The evil days, when it comes, what will you do? In the day the devil come, what will you do? The only reason why Job survived was because of what Job knew before the devil came. If you know nothing before the devil come, when the devil come, my brother, you can't stand. If you were Job, you would have given up, because it was an evil day that came. The days of gloominess, thick darkness, where there was no light. Your journey in God right now is building a fortress in you, so that in the days when the evil day come, God can prepare a table before you, the very presence of your enemies, and you can walk through darkness. You are not afraid, not because of anything, it's because you come as light. But when you are not prepared, when the evil day come, it chokes you up. How many believers backslided as we just enter earlier of this year, when all the city, everything begin to fail? The Lord told us it's a time to mount up. I bring you greetings from family in Lafia, Shekinah Network Internationals. I always forget. The Lord said, I was in an encounter early this year. I was upon the mountain. I think Apostle Bulu, some few of them knew it. I climbed mountain. I stayed there for sometimes we stay for 6 days. I'm born on Christmas Day. Immediately I go up to the mountain, because I've been with people have not helped me. So I go to where I will receive help. Moses was with people, his face did not glow. The more you stay with people, the more you have problem. Go and stay with God. Your problem have no end until you behold the Lord. All this confusion in your life, what it needs is just one beholding. As you behold, you are transformed. All these unanswered questions, you will listen to 35 sermons, they won't be answered. You need just one light that comes from an encounter. When he appeared, you now realize everything the devil said was a lie. It's not as if he doesn't need to answer any of the question. In fact, he doesn't even need to even give you any light or direction. When he just appears, you now realize that although you don't have a job, although you are not married, although you don't have a house, you don't have a car, you are willing to still go with the Lord for the next 5 years. Why? One encounter gladdens your heart. And so as you begin to advance, it will not take 2 years, 3 years. And then all the other things will not start working on their own just like that. But the strength to still advance is a problem. Because when the Lord did not appear, You just realize that you just wake up and say, I'm not doing again.